Hey guys, it's Chris here, and today I wanted to explore the topic of using AI in marketing processes and how to think about it in general and which parts you should be outsourcing, which parts you should be automating with AI, and which parts you should be doing manually. What I have in front of me right now, kind of the full sketch of what goes into making a piece of creative for Meta ads. And I just wanted to show you how many different elements there are, which all are things that you can master separately if you want. So for example, if we start with research, we have kind of the main method, which we have the mind state method here that I teach in another video. There's also the Masterson's Great Leads method that has worked pretty well for me. But then also there are things like Reddit customer language research, product technical research, feature benefits objections, that stack, TikTok organic content research, looking into reviews, looking into competitors, into Amazon reviews, researching key seasonal moments, like Q4, but other moments like that as well, and also looking into positioning. But then also, competitor price and offer research, analyzing the website experience, stuff like that. All of those are sources that you can use to then start making ads. There are plenty of different playbooks. But what I've found is if you truly want to be great at it, you need to have multiple sources, but you also need to become good at using those sources. And now what has happened with AI is that you can try and start delegating some of these parts directly to AI or work with AI on them. And so technically it's possible to replace all of the methods and research things here completely with AI right now and just one shot the briefs. Let me talk you through the whole space for a moment. So we have the research, we have brief writing, so we have videos, images, iterating, copycat strategy. Then we have content sourcing, which I already pre-filled a bit with AI elements as well. And then we have the element of graphic design, video editing, and finally the media buying where it goes into that count. The core idea of this is if you have the whole plan in front of you like this, you can start thinking about replacing things with AI one by one instead of being overwhelmed by the whole thing. And you can then start measuring how it affects the bottom line when it goes into that account. And so, for example, we might decide to just pick one of these sources, let's say review research. We might delegate that completely to AI, which then we use as a source for making the brief. And so we can also then decide to make the video, for example, based on what we learned from the research. Then we can let AI write the brief, right? And then technically, if we want, we could also take this and let AI also generate the content for it. Picking a model, let's say I really like Kling at the moment. Now, what I've found that we can't really replace at the moment is the video editing part. There are some things where you might want to hide imperfections, you might want to add some effects or little stuff. So video editing is really one of the big bottlenecks, but also the parts where you can make your contribution, picking and curating. You can, of course, use some programmatic ways to edit the videos as well. That would probably hurt the end result the most at the moment. What I want you to think about is what are these kinds of marketing processes that you use every day, and you could take parts of these and make them into separate processes that you can test then and measure the results that way to really understand how AI is impacting your ad results. Let's just put together another example of this. So we might have, product technical research. If you have more technical product in your selection, we might decide, to make this into an AI process. Then let's say we decide that we want AI to copy competitors' ad. Not directly, of course, but take inspiration from it. We might decide that we want to source the UGC in real life. And then something also why I have these video editing things here separately is that they tend to change the outputs a bit. So if you edit in Adobe versus DaVinci versus CapCut, there are slight differences in how the end results tend to come out. But for the sake of it, let's just say, video editing will happen in Adobe and then we push it live into a CBO testing campaign, for example. And so now we have a process that is 40% AI, 60% human. What we could be doing here is we could be testing different combinations of these parts to find if we can create a full 100% full AI process versus 100% human process, and then start measuring these results. So let me just give you an example of what a completely 100% AI process would look like that we already use for our clients clients and our brands as well. So for example, we have a research document. So let's say the features, benefits, objections. This is something that AI can also scrape, but we have kind of the base document. Then we have AI coming up with image ads, which I guess we could say it's a mix of copycat strategy and winning ads iteration, which is also fully AI. And then instead of, generating the videos or sourcing it, we use Google Nano Banana. So Nano Banana already does the graphic design part for you as well. And so what's left for you is just to get it launched. And I've shared a video previously on how you can automate your meta ads. Yeah, so from Nano Banana, you can automate it so it goes directly into your CBO campaign. With this process now, because it's fully automated, you can give it a lot of runs without spending a lot of resource. Something that it does happen is when you have a process like this, it typically tends to become better the more you do it, especially if it's human first process, but also with AI processes, your prompting gets better as you do more of this stuff. And so what I would recommend is that you set up a map like this for yourself. You pick out these processes that make sense for you, and then you give each combination like 5 runs and then decide which one actually works the best for you. What I see a lot of people do right now is they jump into these pre-made processes that are, made by companies or just something that they kind of come up with on the run. They have no system of measuring the whole scope of it and also understanding how it pertains to your brand specifically. That's the idea for today. Let me know what you think, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.